Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. I hope you are enjoying your crafty time. I have just had the most fun putting this project together. This is a set of dies that I have been after for the longest time. I finally found them. I'll tell you all about that in the video. And so I thought I have to put this together. And in Corrine style, I've made my own background. Can you see the shimmer? Is it shimmering? There you go. Can you see? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Loving that. Really good fun, and I want to just crack on and show you how it's made. So this set of leaves and all the bits that go with it from Sizzix is a set that I've been hankering over for I don't know how long. You've got 18 dies in it. Now it's normally about £22, as you can see on here, but I've hankered over it for ages and ages, and I've not bought it because I thought, no, I've got leaf dies, I don't need to buy this one. Then when I was at the NEC beginning of November, I saw it on for sale at £11.40. So I thought, right, that's somebody telling me that I needed to get it, so I got it. But since then I've been doing Christmas cards, so I haven't had a chance to use it. So now is the time. As I said, you get 18 dies. They come in this little wallet. You can see them all in there. And here are the few that I have picked out that I'm going to use. But I'll show you how I use those in a few minutes. Just put them to one side. I'm also going to use this sentiment stamp, this beautiful. It's from my Sharon Callis set, and I know you've seen me use this a few times. Love that. We'll use that in a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I've got a piece of watercolour card. It is 6 inches tall by 4 3/4 inches wide. Just seemed to work really well. I sort of got my width from that, and then I just sort of made something that looked right. And you'll also see I have got 3 water reactive inks: Ocean Blue, Grasshopper and Honey Pot, 3 that I really like. So we're going to use these on our watercolour card first. So I've got a blending mat down, put a bit of yellow down, and I'm going to bring in my water. I'm going to activate it, and then I'm going to just pick it up like that, just all over. Now we are going to do more work on this after we put the inks on, so don't get too hung up on it. I'm just going to dry that, because if I don't dry it and then I add the next colour, it'll just go muddy. So I'll just dry that, be right back. Now don't forget to dry from the back as well as the front. I've not really dried it, I've just dried it a bit, just to get the most out. So I'm going to add some blue. Now if you've got your distress oxides, those would work. If you've got just regular distress ink pads, those would work too. So I'm just popping that on. Most of it is staying blue, but don't get too worried about it. If the colours blend, they blend. Now you could do this in any colours that you wanted, and it's going to look totally seasonal depending on what colours you go for. Now don't worry if it's not totally flat when you're doing this. We can always run it through our die cutting machine between 2 plates before we finish if we wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to go with the green. Just a little bit of water, and then I can pick it up again. Now remember, the less water you add, the more intense the colour is going to be. But don't worry about it, we're going to do some stenciling. So let me dry that one, and that's the last one to go on there. Okay, so I'm just going to switch it around now. All right, so we've got these. So it's quite light at the background, so you can see the yellows, the greens and the blues all coming through there. It could be pinks, it could be purples, it could be whatever colour you want. Now the other thing I picked up when I was at the NEC was this All and Create stencil, and I am loving that, and I'm going to use that now. I'm also going to get out a couple of my trusty staple stencils. This one, which is like water droplets, I love this one. This is a definite go-to, and also some regular circles. But I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to pop it over the top, and I'm going to bring in my 3 ink pads again. Put them that side. I'm going to start, I think, with blue. So I'm just going to pop this onto here. I'm going to pick up some blue ink, and then I'm just going to blend. I'm not going to go right to the edges. I'm just going to blend that through. Don't worry if it doesn't do whole circles. It'll work really well. So when you pick that up, look at that, and that looks lovely, doesn't it, as it fades out. I'm going to come down here, pick up, and do a similar effect just on there, just like that. Don't get too hung up on about it. Just do it as much or as little as you like. That's all I'm going to do with the blue. Then I'm going to bring in this one that I really like, and I'm going to pop that onto here, and I'm going to start with a bit of yellow, but I'm actually going to take the lid off my green. I've got a blending brush for my green. I've got a blending brush for my yellow, and I'm going to pick up some yellow. So I say yellow, honey pot, and I'm going to blend through here. Now, because it's inks, which is effectively a dry medium rather than a wet medium, we're going to use a wet one in a minute, I can move the stencil around quite easily, as you saw just a moment ago. If I was doing things like not gilding wax, glitter pastes, you can't really move the stencil around, because if you overlay it, obviously it'll just smudge. So, you know, just think on how you want to do it. So look at that. Oh, that's a bit darker than what I did before, but it looks lovely. Going to do the same down here. Bit of yellow and a bit of green. Just go around the edges of those water droplets with the green. They don't have to be straight, they could be however you wanted. And I love how I've got them. I'm just going to put that on there a minute. I know that's not a perfect match, but I just want to blend it up into here a little bit more. Let's just come around those edges. There we go. So we've definitely run one into the other. So all that blending that we did at the beginning, picking up those inks, just gives it takes away the white harshness from the background. It also adds these extra little bits in. So it just adds to the interest. So you just use as much or as little as you want. So the last bit I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my dotty stencil, which is bigger than my project. I'm going to bring in some glitter paste. Now I'm just going for like a sort of a clear glitter paste, because I just want to give it a little bit of a spark. I don't want it to be flat. So I'm going to pick up a bit of glitter paste, and I'm just going to pick 2 or 3 areas just to run this through. Just pulling a bit through it. I'm definitely not doing it all over. Let's just... and then making sure to take it off, and then just put that. So it's quite well over. I'm just going to put those out of the way, making sure that I get those into some water nice and quickly, and the lid nice and tightly on my glitter paste. But, oh, I've got a blobby bit there. There we go. Look at that. Now, the only thing I would say is make sure you've got no glitter paste coming off the edge. But look at that. Can you see that glitter sparkle? Just gives that hint. So it's not in your face like a coloured glitter paste, but just sparkle. I'm loving that. But everything is as random as I can create. I really don't want to be too specific. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to put that to dry, and I'll show you. This is one that I did just an hour and a half ago, which is perfectly dry. Now, what I would say is red liner tape is good for this, because the card's trying to twist and buckle a little bit from the water. So by adding in red liner tape, it's going to hold much better. So I'm going to mat that onto some black. I could mat it onto some white because I've got colour right to the edges, but I'm going to actually just do it straight onto the black. So I'm going to lift up these corners. You've possibly seen, I normally do it like this if I've got a finger lift tape. It's not as easy to do with red liner. So what that means is I've not exposed all of the glue. I've only exposed a little bit. That means I can then line it up with those corners, making sure I've got it where I want it to be before I touch down. And then once it touches down, I know it's going to grab, because red liner doesn't lift. Put that like that, and then just pull those out. There we go. And pull that one out, and pull that one out like that. That now will grab, and it will flatten it out. You can see I've actually got a bit of glitter paste go over the edge there. That will flatten it out because it's been done with the red liner, which you will grab and hold, whereas if I'd used a wet glue, it might try and buckle. I have put foam tape on the back, my Stix 2 foam tape, and I've prepared myself a card base. Do you know what? I'm going to have to wipe that stamping block. I keep putting it on here. So I've just done card base, 7-inch card base, trimmed down, blue layer, white layer, and I'm going to put that on. Doesn't that look beautifully fresh? I've actually put quite a bit of foam on the back of here, more than I probably normally would, but I didn't want it to buckle. Easier just to get your card base done, and then you can concentrate on your topper. There's no problem doing that then. Getting those bits, I'm hoping those are going in the bin, I really don't know. And then we can put some wet glue on, because I've put a lot of foam tape on. I'm actually going to put a little bit of wet glue, otherwise when that foam tape grabs, oops, it's going to hold and it might not be where I want it to be. So a bit of wet glue on the back of there, making sure my card is the right way up, because I know which way I want it to be. And then I'm going to pop that on there. You see, I can look at that, even though it's down, I can move it because it's got wet glue on. So there we go. And then all I want to do is just pop stamping platform on, stamping mat, and then it'll work dry. So as I mentioned, let's move these out of the way. I wanted this set of dies, really wanted this set of dies. So from this set, I've picked out some of the solid leaves, because some of them have got the raggedy edges and some have got the solid edges. And then I've picked out a handful of the centres as well. So those are what I'm going to be using. Let's put those on there. And I've cut out some gorgeous leaves in black. I know it's quite harsh. What I thought I'd do is I'd use the 3 colours that I've used in my inks, blue, yellow, and that one, that green, and then I've cut some extra spares. So I've cut those out, and I thought those would look really nice on there. So let's get my squeezy tweezers, let's get my precision glue press, and I've been seeing lots more comments on online that you've all been loving the glue press since you've seen me use it. Oh dear me, I didn't clean that very well last time I used it. Okay, so the thing about it is it's the tiniest, gentlest squeeze, and you get all of your glue, your very controlled amount of glue come out. Now this is very fine, so even that's a little bit too big. It's your tonic glue in there. I don't know which tonic one it is. I'm not found my tonic ones, but it just works really well. So that will now fit on to there. You can go at an angle or straight on. I love that. There's the blue. I've got the green. Pick it up. Little bit of glue. I've done a squeeze. I'm almost just using the residue on the end of the nozzle. It's the best nozzle ever. And that's going to go on there. Don't they look amazing? And let's do this. I love the shape of this one. It's right chunky, isn't it? And then we can do a little bit of wet glue on there. If you're going to pat it on your hand like I did, make sure you've done a skin allergy test. I wouldn't want any of you to react to it. I know which glues I'm safe with, so I can put that on there. So you see, when you put these on, you get like a stem coming out at the bottom, which I think is really lovely. Oops, they're jumping and they're alive. There we go. There we are. And it also dries clear, does this glue? So you're good to go. There we are. Let's put the lid on. Okay, so what I've also done, like I say, is cut out lots of spares. I don't know how many of those I'm going to be using. Now, the other thing I mentioned that I was going to use was my beautiful die. So what I have done is those 3 inks that we've just used, the blue, the green and the yellow, I blended them onto the scrap. So when I cut my card out like that, look, can you see it was just the end bit off there, because it's a perfect match. So I've just blended them there and then cut the beautiful out from that. And I also cut the beautiful out in black, if I can find it. There it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a drop shadow. So if I was to put this onto here, I'd lose it. If I put that on there, I found it a little bit harsh, so I thought we could do somewhere in between. So we would do it with a drop shadow. So we could put the black at the back and the pattern at the front. There we go, let's get rid of that. Have I got all the bits out of this one? No, I haven't. I should have done that before I started, and I didn't. I love the effect of that. So let's do that. Why did I put the lid on my glue press? I don't know. So I wonder how all of you are getting on with your Christmas cards. Did you enjoy the Christmas inspiration? I know it's end of November and we're stopping with Christmas, but that's always been the way. Since I've been a demonstrator, we very rarely demonstrate Christmas into December because most people, I mean, even yourselves watching this, if you're going to be making Christmas cards to be sending, they're going to need to be made by very early December, so that you can get them posted or gifted or however. So yeah, so December isn't usually a month for making a lot of Christmas if you're organised. Right, so I'm going to pop this onto here, just staggering it. I think I'm going to have to go in with my hands because it's twizzling round. So we just stagger it very slightly over to the edge, just so that bit of black is showing. You can do it as fine or as chunky as you want. I'm trying to do it sort of not totally fine. I want to actually see a bit of black just because I've got such a pattern background. I could do it a lot less if I wanted to, but I think I want a bit of the black showing just so that it stands out. Otherwise we could lose it onto that busy background. There we go, making sure the black is visible. Can you see on there? And how beautiful, as it says, is that? Let's get that out of there. There we go. And that is now going to go onto my card base. And can you see how that just shows up so much more by having that black around it? It's just a simple, not trick, technique, I think is the right word. Technique, so that it just optimizes the effect. And then we can put this on here. There we go. And that's going to go. If you really feel that it loses it, then maybe just put a white matte layer on. You know, you could always put a strip, a belly band. Oh, that would look nice. You could have put a band of vellum and put that on top. Lots of different ways. Remember to put enough glue on because we're going on top of glitter paste now. So yes. And then I'm going to pop these onto here. And I think I might see if I've got a syringe of 3D glue gel, if it's working. Yes, it is, because that will give me some extra height as well. So I'm going to put these on. I'm going to put the extra ones on, but I'm going to put these on first. So let's put my 3D glue gel. If you wanted to, you could do this with foam pads, but I want to be able to control it for a bit. So I'm going to pop that one there. I'm going to get this one, maybe not quite as much glue. And I'm going to just sort of tuck that coming out of there. And then on this one, maybe a little bit more on that side, not necessarily as much on that side. And then we can put that one just there. And then I thought what I could do was, I thought I could go, they've all got tangled. I could put this one, tuck that under there into that, just making sure it goes into that 3D glue. That's all it needs. It doesn't need much more than that. I could then go, what else have I got? Put that on that side. Now, so I've done green opposite there. If you're at all unsure, just put a little bit more glue on the back, slide it under. That works. So I've done a black and a coloured one on each side. Oh, yes, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. Oh, where's that one gone? It's flipped under. That's not got any glue on. Let's try again. Oh, there we go. That one will go like that. That one will go like that. There we go. And then the last thing I need is some gems. These are a bit bigger, but I'm going to have to use these up because I've got them now. It did have smaller ones and I've used all the smaller ones. So let's go with these. Let's try and get some of these, the smaller ones that are left. Because those are smaller than those, aren't they? Put those on there. I might put one just there for the eye. And then let's just Got some really little diddy ones there. Let's pick these up. Just where can these go? There we go. And that is the first card that I've made with this gorgeous set from Sizzix. Quite modern, quite, you know, the black and the pops of colour. I absolutely love it. I've wanted this set of dies for the longest time, and I'm really glad. I love this, not having everything pulled down. If you want to, just go underneath it with a little bit of glue and it'll hold it down. But I like it where it's not. I like things to be a little bit free form. So how about that? I hope you like that. Something a little bit different. Yeah, and we're back to our regular cards. Oh, and just to say, as it's Thursday, and you know I usually like to do Thrifty Thursday, all of these bits here were just from the smallest little scraps from my scrap box. I really didn't. That blue one, obviously, I'd cut a piece of blue card for that, but you can take the centre out to be able to cut those bits. Yeah, really, really keeping it thrifty by only using little bits. And again, making your own background papers. I love doing that. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. Please, please leave a comment. Please click on any of the links down below, and there's my buy me a coffee page, and there's also some Amazon and other links down there. Oh, and Craft Stash. I'll see if I can find if Craft Stash have these on. If they do, I'll link to that. But for now, thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for all your support. I really, really do appreciate it. I can't wait to think what I'm going to bring you next time. But until then, enjoy your crafting. Please don't forget to click up at the top here on the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.